Today let's take a look at replacing the idle air control valve on this GM 3100. Now today I'm working on a 2002 Pontiac Grand Prix, but really a lot of these 3100s should be very similar. The IAC, or idle air control valve, is located right in the top of the throttle body. So we've got the mass airflow sensor, the intake ductwork here, throttle body, and we've got the IAC right up top here. Now you'll see, first thing we have to do is get some wiring out of the way. So I'm going to disconnect the electrical connector for that. Also unplug the EGR valve. As well as the canister purge solenoid, and get some of those wires out of the way here. I'm also going to use my 90-degree pick to release the harness. While I'm at it, I might as well disconnect the throttle position sensor and get all those wires out of the way here. Now this is held down by two bolts. I'm going to use a torx bit driver, actually my T20, to remove both of these bolts. However, the back one is kind of blocked off there by the purge solenoid. So I'm going to take a 10 millimeter socket, my 1/4-inch ratchet, and an extension, and just unbolt the bracket. It's holding that on. Now I don't completely need to remove it here, but at least just it gives me some freedom to access the back bolt for the IAC. Once that's out of the way, now I can take my ratchet and my T20 and remove the two bolts holding this in place. Okay, now that I got both the bolts removed, I can rotate and pull out my old idle air control valve. As you see, the O-ring came out with it. That's what seals it here. And of course, we don't want any vacuum leaks. So now I will take the new valve. Of course, it comes equipped with a new O-ring here. We're going to orient it in the correct location and install it. One thing, let's take a look at the old IAC was fully extended, whereas the new one is fully retracted. And so this thing opens up or retracts to allow more air in to increase the idle speed. Or it will extend or plug off this hole a little bit further to reduce the amount of airflow going into the engine to lower the idle. So of course, installing this in the fully retracted position, the car is going to start and probably have a high idle at first, which is fine. That's the way it's designed to work. And so we're going to let the car idle for several minutes, and eventually it will learn its new minimum position. We're going to want to turn on the air conditioning, put several different loads on the vehicle, even take it for a test drive, do several closed throttle decels along the way, and we will get it to learn its new position. So as you can see, I just need to finish installing my bolts here, plug this in. Don't forget to bolt in the purge solenoid, make all the electrical connections, put everything back in place, do that throttle relearn or that minimum air idle relearn. In some cases it might not even be necessary to do it with a scan tool, but a lot of times it can be forced by the drive conditions as I described. Hopefully now you understand what it takes to replace the idle air control valve on a 3100 GM engine.